or easements based on the village laws today.
That's a good point, and I will, kind of turn this towards our building inspector and our attorney, but and we can, modify the language to address your issues, and I think Tom as our building inspector, have discussed, during this. I'm not looking to stop that kind of thing. If you want to, renovations or minor or major renovations to a property, this is more towards the bigger picture stuff. I think, for most of what we're looking at, if the building inspector can issue permits, without zoning or planning, that goes through. Greg, I guess I would defer to you. I mean, those applications are not what I was looking to stop.
Mayor, this is Greg Supple.
Yeah.
We do have some wording in the law that says that minor building renovations are exempted. I can clarify that further to include minor house renovations and give an example of a minor addition to a house, residential house. So I could clarify that if that would help.
Mayor, I'm familiar with the applicant's request, and it's going to require certificate of appropriateness. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. It probably shouldn't, and what Greg said, but it's just a minor addition to the rear of some existing building, as the applicant said, but it will require certificate of appropriateness from the planning board.
Right, and I had some conversation with some other residents, and I think that if we need to, Greg, review the language. I hope we don't have to do it with another public hearing, but to clarify, I don't think that most of the certificate of appropriateness should be impacted by this. And I think most of the renovations, additions that can be done through the planning board should not be involved in this. And I would also say the minor, additions or, renovations that are not, I don't know how to do it, maybe to clarify the rules, but I think we need to clarify the rules to say that they do not apply to a private property renovation or whatever.
I will clarify that wording, Mayor.
Yeah, so you understand what I mean? We're not looking to stop somebody from putting a deck on or somebody from putting, putting a pool in or whatever, kind of comes under the planning board, but more under Tom. The moratorium is more for, a more major projects.
Yep. So I thank you, Village Board. I appreciate you hearing me. This is my first one, and look forward to many more of these. So
Welcome to the village, Todd.
Thank you. We're glad you're here to give us, some input from a resident. I would really hope for a lot more, but you know, one is good.
So, and hopefully next time we can do it in person.
You know, thank you for your participation and I really do appreciate it. So Greg, I don't know if we need to really modify this, and we have another public hearing for it, but I think we should be able to just clarify that the moratorium is designed for major construction.
Yes, Mayor, I don't think we need another public hearing. I already have wording in the proposed local law that exempts minor building renovations, and I can just change that wording just slightly to cover this proposed situation. So I don't think we need another public hearing to do that.
Right, can we just exempt certificate of appropriateness? That might cover this.
I actually already have that in the law that it's exempt.
Okay, thank
So
you.
it's already there. So that issue is covered.
Thank you. I think we might be okay then.
All right, and also on an issue that we want to deal with, it exempts current, wherever the current application is within the process, they're exempt from this. Everybody's answering me. Greg, do you understand that that's,
Yes, that's my understanding as well.
so, Tom, you're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, Todd, do you have any other comments? I really do appreciate you being here. And being, you know, part of it. You look at the screens here, it's all village people, and I really like to have you know, somebody other than a village representative here. So I really appreciate you being here.
I'll call you back on the Zoom meeting.
So
Good. Thank you, and thank you for listening. Is that my cue to hang up?
you know what? Stay on and watch the rest of the meeting, and you know, maybe if you have something else to say, you know,
Okay, I'll do that.
here for the public, not for us. So
Okay, well, thank you.
I do really appreciate you being here and giving us some input. So thank you for that. So with that, I will deem the public hearing closed on Bill D of 2020, and I will open the regular and call the meeting to order, and everybody rise for the pledge of allegiance. And Dan, we have our flag, and somebody else. Who's that? Dean. Dean has a nice flag up there. So pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dean, for having that nice flag out there.
I sell them.
Yeah, we couldn't see Dan's tonight. Dan was hiding behind a Buffalo Bills flag, I think.
You got it.
Roll call. Dean Schofield, Angela Ferrer, Jim Mitchell. Angela is there, but she's not the official anymore. It's Dan Borkart, Trudy Newhart, and Nick Orlando. I have to try to memorize the whole thing all over again because Angela decided to retire. So I need a motion to approve the minutes of our January 4th meeting.
So moved.
Discussion, who made the motion?
Motion by Nick, second by Angelo.
Okay, we need to have.
Yep.
that.
Trustee Schofield,
Aye.
trustee Ferrera,
Aye.
trustee Forlano,
Aye.
trustee Newhart,
Aye.
Motion carried. Dan's staring at me, waiting for me to do that. He's not as slow as you used to be, Ange. He just stares at me. All right. Abstracts. Abstracts. So fund $37,745.34. Or $5,544.52. Sewer, $1,947.28. Trust and agency, $5,225. Capital projects, sewer, wastewater treatment plant expansion, $40,146.72. Capital projects, water field, $6,712.17. Okay, need a motion to approve the abstracts as read, with the assumption that Dean will come in and sign those in the next few days.
We have a motion. Do we have a
Second.
Discussion?
trustee Schofield,
Aye.
trustee Ferrera,
Aye.
trustee Newhart,
Aye.
trustee Forlano,
Aye.
Motion carried. I don't have
Well, the warrant's not ready, because Angela wasn't in today,
okay.
so there's gonna be no warrant.
What about, with local law?
Wasn't Greg gonna be clarifying?
Okay, so where's the new sewer rates? Okay, sorry. This is what happens with,
with new people.
not all, I wasn't gonna go there, Dan was gonna go meeting. So first thing I need is to, resolution, a motion to approve local law 1 of 2021, which is the, bill, D of 2020, which is the moratorium as we had our public hearing. So is there a motion to approve the local law of 1 of 2021?
So moved. So moved.
Okay, who
We
made the
have
motion?
motion by trustee Forlano, second by trustee Ferrera. Any discussion? Trustee Schofield,
As long as the amendment's in there, aye. Yep.
trustee Ferrera,
Aye.
trustee Forlano,
Aye.
trustee Newhart,
No.
3-1, it still passes.
Okay, so what is, Here, everybody received a, outline of the, new water and sewer rates. These rates are based on, move forward with the expansions of the water plant and actually required expansion or the water plant is the expansion is to enhance our supply and make sure we have enough water supply and expand our water water plant and our well system. Wastewater treatment plant, which are probably the bigger, increase, are needed fund the cost of our replacement of our wastewater treatment plant. Dave's there, and he can chime in, but the wastewater treatment plant was designed in late 60s, early 70s, built in the mid 70s, went online in 1974, I believe. Collection system, we've done a lot of work on the collection system over the last few years that we've kind of exhausted most of our funds to do, to operate, but we've stopped our I, they call it, inflow and infiltration. But our wastewater treatment plant was designed to handle 450,000 gallons a day. We've expanded. We have South Sewer. We have Round Hill. This expansion will allow us to the basic inflow that we have, and maybe some of our South Sewer that will save us money that we pay to the town of Fishkill City Beacon. The preliminary numbers are that if we take our South Sewer during slow flow times, we can eliminate, Dave, you can say, but I think 95% of our payments to the town of Fishkill and the City Beacon.
Yeah, I don't know if it's quite 95. It's probably more close to 75 during dry weather situations. And
yeah, okay, so 75, but the those numbers take money out of expenditures and put them into savings. So the plans and the numbers that we put together with our sewer and rate increases, with the lower payments to the town and the city of Beacon, basically pay off the bond. So that way, even without that, we need to do this. And then we can, with the sewer rate increases, we do this based on all our estimates without running to a deficit. If we can gain more positive numbers by lowering our or flow to the city of Beacon down the Fishkill line. We enhance our numbers. So based on these numbers, this is what we need with any other income. You know, not reducing Beacon, not increasing anything, just if everything stays status quo, these numbers help us maintain where we are and pay off our bond for the wastewater treatment plant. We need to remember that the wastewater treatment plant was in between 1972 and 1974. Designed probably in the late 60s. It's what they call a package plant. It's outlived its lifespan. Got to give credit to not only our previous operators, but our that were contract MHPC, but the guys that came from MHPC with Dave and Dave Morrison, who's down there on the bottom of somebody's screen, bottom of my screen, that have, you know, for the last 20 years that I've been here, and probably more, have patched together and made this sewer plant, kept it working. I don't know how. There's a lot of things. I mean, you know, I worked down there when I was in high school, and you know, that was a long time ago. But we've been able to keep it running. I don't know how long we can do that. So we really need to move forward, and sometime this spring we'll have the proposal to go out to bid for this. But before we go out to bid, we need to know we can pay for it. And these numbers are based on, you know, our working with Dan, who's and this has gone a while with Dan and back and forth. But these numbers are the numbers that we think we can adopt and maintain and do what we need to do. We have to remember we haven't raised our rates since 2013. Before that, it was, I don't know how long. Before that, it was 20 years. I mean, Angie, chime in on the numbers, but or the timeline, but we have a history of keeping our rates low for long periods of time. So the last time we raised everything was in 2013. So I think we're well overdue. The other thing that this new rate is also add a rate for
Commercial customers.
commercial company. Thank you. Dan's in my ear. Angela, Dan's in my ear. He's talking to me. Oh, look, she stuck her tongue out on me. So this does a commercial rate for businesses, which we did a number of years ago for taxes. The commercial properties, you know, you look at them as that's an income for them. So we did add a little bit of percentage for them. So I guess I need a motion to approve the new sewer and water rates.
Effective April 15th.
Yeah. Again, Angie, he's whispering in my ear. Effective April 15th.
Mayor, could I interject here?
Yes, you
Greg.
can, Greg.
I just want to point out that the last time the village raised the water and sewer rates, it was by means of a local law. So I would recommend to the board that you also raise them this time by means of a local law, which I could draft and have ready long before the April deadline.
Okay, so we can hold this off for a month, but Greg, I think if we go back into our archives and we research this, we can find that we raised our rates the last time where we said we didn't need the local law to do it. Our local law said that the village board could raise the rates periodically through resolution.
You're probably correct, Mayor, but for the sake of safety and so that no one can possibly challenge these rates in the future, I still would recommend a local law this time.
Okay. We don't disagree very often.
That's true.
But I think if I remember, and I will hold this off till next month because it's not going to really. You recall that when we did the last resolution for raising rates, we did a local law that said that the village board could raise rates likely through a resolution. So,
Well, Mayor, if you can research that for me, I'd appreciate it because it isn't in the online code. It's not in the code.
okay, well, between you and I would ask you to research it, but we'll work on that. I don't want to, have a big argument. I have no problem doing a local law. I mean, we could do it tonight. But
You could pass the resolution tonight, Mayor, and then we'll just follow it up with a local law.
yeah, so I would say if we want to do a resolution tonight,
Just do it all at once.
yeah, so let's look into the fact that I believe that we did I believe that we did something, say that we didn't need a local law moving forward. So let's research that, and if not, then we'll have for our next meeting, we'll have a local law prepared. Which would then mean we need, public hearing and that. The timing is not a big deal. I'm not worried about the timing on this, so I'm not pushing it because we need to do it today or next month or whatever. So I'm not gonna push that, but I will push the fact that I believe that we did this. I believe that we addressed this in the past so that we could change our rates without having to do a local law every time we change the rates. But that's between you and Dan to do the research.
We'll figure it out, right, Dan?
You got it, Greg.
Okay.
So while we're there, does anybody have any issues? Any of the board members have any issues with the rates as?
Jim, do you happen to know about what the average cost increase would be for a resident?
No, I just have the annual increase over.
I don't have it per,
How many people, I can do the math. Dan, how many people are in the village?
Angela, it's about,
All of them.
Angela, how many bills do you do
We
roughly?
have over 1,200 accounts.
Okay,
Total.
Is that all overall though?
Every,
Yeah, that's about 1,275 accounts
That's overall. That's
completely.
knowledge, but-
okay.
But just keep in mind too, that we're changing over the software. So if any changes are going to happen in our billing software with rates, if we're going to do it, I really need time way before the April 15 billing. So that they
Well,
can,
I mean, once we approve the rates, we can approve the date. You know, it doesn't have to be approved for April. It could be approved for the.
it's gonna be the next billing
Yeah, the
cycle.
June.
okay.
That's not an issue. And Trudy, that number can, if you can't get it through, you know, here you can talk to Dan and get that number. Because the 1,200, Angela said 1,200, but is that village?
That's
account?
everybody. That's
That's
everybody.
everybody. That's total accounts.
Yeah, so they're not all village accounts. So Trudy's question was how many village accounts? I would say probably half that, just.
I'd say about a third of that.
Third,
She does a third. You know, so we can get those numbers. Okay, so anybody else has any questions on those numbers or questions about, you know, where they came from or whatever, you know, please reach out. You know, we're not, you know, trying to push anything through. I'm just saying that we need to do these increases to do the sewer plant upgrades and the water plant upgrades. I mean, and the water, I know serve is over 10,000 people. And that's just our numbers, county between what we sell to the city of Beacon, Coventry's, town of Fishkill, village of Fishkill. We have water that goes to the East Fishkill. So, you know, if you look at numbers for our water, you know, it's over 10,000. So I'm not sure, but we do Round Hill, all of the village, Summer South, the village, South Sewer. We have a very considerably large amount of people that pay us, you know, for our sewer. And our sewer plant is getting close to 50 years old. Well past its livelihood. And we have plans to rebuild it and finance it. And these numbers are based on that financial estimate. So I welcome the questions and you know, those answers. They're not required for tonight. As far as moving forward, we need to continue discussing it. So I have no problem with doing that. So as far as I'm concerned, we'll continue. And anybody has questions, they can reach out to me, Dan, Greg, Dave, you know, anybody involved in that. So, okay. You're ready to move forward? Am I good, Dan? Okay. Now that brings us to Greg. Yeah, man, my folder is nothing in your line.
I don't have anything else right now, Mayor.
As if that wasn't enough. Thank you, Greg.
I caused enough trouble.
Yes, you have. No, we appreciate your input. I know we had some comments and concerns today about another project, and we're glad that you were there to answer our questions, and we always appreciate it. So that brings us to the building inspector. Tom's there.
Okay, for the month of December, 5 building permits, 3 COs, 7 site inspections, 5 fire inspections. Temporary CO was issued to Burger King, pending some landscaping issues to be resolved prior to the end of May. A CO was issued for Toro, the 1069 Main Street. Opening date is unknown. I believe they may be changing the business format. I'm not really sure. I was contacted by Village PD regarding a truck into the side of Starbucks. Damage turned to be very severe, very minor, I should say. Was repaired within 2 days. Received a complaint of someone living in the rear of an office, 1140 Main Street. I just received a sworn affidavit this morning attesting to this not being true. They are taking a position, both the landlord and the occupant, that he operates an international trading business and he deals with foreign countries all over the world at different hours of the day and night. And he has a small sitting area behind his office, which I have been in. And he has been known to take a nap here and there on the couch. He denies he actually lived there. But I actually have another legal address for him elsewhere in Elmsford. So,
I'm sorry, Tom. I'm laughing at that. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at that.
Well, I I had a hard time keeping a straight face as well, but I think I shared the affidavit with you this morning in the email. They came from the occupant as well as his landlord in Elmsford. So, Greg, I don't know if you're gonna weigh in this or not, but I'm not sure what else we can require.
If he says he's not living there and he swears he's not living there, then I guess you have to accept that.
He swears he's not living there, and his landlord in Elmsford swears that he lives in her house.
Right. So I think that's the end of this.
So, the fact that I have an office and I can tell you that I deal with people 24/7. So I have to be in my office at all hours. I can sleep in my office because I have to do that. I have somebody that swears I've been and live in their house, and a landlord that swears that they don't allow me. I'm sorry. I'm being very.
Yeah, I mean, I've been by the building several times.
The guy lives in this place. I've been by there at a lot of different times, and he's there. There's lights on. You know, if you're doing trading 24/7, then you should be in the front office where your computers are and where the lights are on. He's not there at those times. He's never there. And again, I'm not looking at this because to pick on anybody, but I hate to be, picked on or not picked on, but I hate to be fooled. He's not in the front office doing work on that computer or where his business is during, odd hours. So to me, if you're going to say that I'm going to, if I said I'm going to be the mayor and I'm going to come here at 2 o'clock in the morning, then the light should be on at 2 o'clock in the morning and I should be, visible. That's not happening. He's not there. He's in his back office with dim lights and, things that would be considered living lights, not office lights. I mean, there's a big difference. I don't know how many of you people have been in an office that you have a little light in the corner that's giving you a 30-watt bulb. That's what he had, what I see. If he says he's working 12 hours of the night, then he should be in that front office with his lights on. I don't know. I don't know what we can do about it, but I think we've been hoodwinked as far as this goes. So I would ask Tom to consider, continue surveillance. Yeah, I guess that's but if he's in there on a Friday night sitting in the back of the office, which used to be the chiropractor's office, with his little lights on, he's not working. So I don't know where we are, Greg, with that, and I don't know if that's a big deal or not. But you know what? If the firemen, if there's a fire in that place and they don't expect to have a person there, that's to his detriment. I mean, the fire in the building, you want to know who's in the building. And if the building says there's nobody there, that's to somebody, occupying a building illegally.
Mayor, I agree with everything you said. I've seen light on in the back room as well. I've seen a portrait in the back wall. I've seen all that. I agree with everything you said. I guess not to pass the buck, I would defer to Greg on this. I will submit to him the documentation I got this morning. I mean, I don't have a problem doing surveillance. I already know what I'm going to see. We both know what I'm going to see. We're going to see light in the back room. And we're not going to see him in the front office. That's not to say to come out at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if he does or not. I don't know, how far we can go with this before he gets himself in trouble for invasion of privacy, etc. I don't know, Greg, you want to weigh in this? Do you want to wait until you read the documentation tomorrow morning?
Why don't you give me the documentation tomorrow, Tom, and you and I can analyze it and we'll go from there.
That's fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm not, and I don't have a vendetta. I don't have any personal problem with it, but we know that this is happening, and if something happens to the guy after a fire or something, where does that leave us? As far as liability, so I just. And the fact that the letter came from not their attorney, it came from them. There's somebody in their the family. It's really not okay, got a letter say that he lives here. I mean, I can go there and look in the window and he's there, I'll leave it to Greg and Tom to pursue, but, I do think it's an issue, especially for the fire company. If there's, we already had the truck crash into the front of the building, so, if something happens, there's a fire there, fire, you should know that there's somebody there. Okay. Anything else on that? I think I've Heat it up. I have no fire report. No report from the fire company.
No report.
No report from the fire company. Fire committee, I would ask that they ask the fire company to make sure that they have a report. Who's fired? Angelo and Trudy. I would ask that you guys ask the fire company to make sure that they have a report. Justice, 63 vehicle traffic laws, 29 vehicle traffic laws closed, 7 misdemeanor cases filed, penal law cases filed, 5 village ordinance cases filed, 3 village ordinance cases closed, 1 civil case filed, and 1 civil case closed. $3,936 was sent to the state comptroller. Glenn, you've been here quietly enjoying this program. So give us your report.
Glenn, you're muted. You're muted.
No, you hit on.
Nope, you're still
No, he's
muted.
not muted. He's good. All right.
No.
No, now you're muted.
He's muted now, yeah.
Unmute yourself. There you
There we go.
How's that?
go. Good.
All right, activity of the police department for December, there were 9 arrests, 31 service calls, 54 complaints or incidents investigated, 36 traffic summonses issued, 19 automobile accidents investigated, and foot patrol was conducted for 20 hours over the course, for 13 hours over the course of 20 different occasions. No specific items of note for December. The only other item I have is I'm recommending for appointment to replace the position vacated by Officer Alyssa Cox, the appointment of Richard Castellano. He's a retired police officer and investigator from the City of Mount Vernon Police Department. He retired in September of 2020. He's got obviously vast experience of working in an urban area, but he has been living up in our community, actually in the town of Fishkill, for the last 15 years. His background is, his experiences and training is impeccable, and he would be a fine asset to the department. So I'm recommending that he be appointed.
Commissioner, I'd like to thank you for your response to me on the question that I raised regarding that candidate. It was very precise.
I appreciate it there, Mr. Ferrara. And again, as I mentioned to you before, and also the trustee Furlano and the whole board, I appreciate your support of the department and your trust in me to recommend good candidates.
You certainly have earned it.
You're a sure bet, Glenn.
Okay. So I just want to say that I was not arrested. I was not one of the 9. Or any of the complaints. There's traffic summonses. I didn't have an auto accident. I'm good to go.
Okay.
I would ask for a motion to appoint Officer Castellano based on input from the police committee.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Forlano, second by trustee Ferrera.
Any other
Any discussion?
discussion? Thank you.
Trustee Schofield,
Aye.
trustee Ferrera,
Aye.
trustee Forlano,
Aye.
trustee Newhart,
Aye.
motion carried.
Okay, Davey. What is your
Well, we don't have anything really, except for the fact if anybody has any questions they want to ask about the rate increases. If I don't have the answer, I can find answers or work with everybody. We are working on a grant to try to get some of the new water meter software, computer, meter heads, all that taken care of. So I'm working on that as we go along. Angela's gonna be helping me with that a little bit. We did discuss it with the mayor the other day. Other than that, everything's kind of rolling along pretty smooth. But one of the things I wanted to mention before talking about the rate increases and what would probably help to keep the rates down is the fact that we did get, a $4 million grant for the sewer and a $1.25 million grant for the water work. That will offset to keep those rates, so we don't have to raise them as high as they are, so to speak. or
Right.
going to be.
And the sewer grant is one of many where we've applied for.
Right.
So out of the proposed $16 million upgrade to the sewer plant, we've already got 4 million. And I think we have another, some other money. So all of the grants that we're looking for will reduce our $60 million estimate for the upgrades as we move forward. So.
Correct.
And as I said earlier, with increasing our capacity at the sewer plant, will decrease our reliance on sending sewage to City of Beacon through the town of Fishkill, which will also decrease our annual cost. So that's also calculated in what we talked about when Trudy was involved in our numbers early on. But the 16 million will be, I think when it comes down to it, we'll probably our increase in revenue will offset our cost in the bonds. It looks like pretty much we're looking for a wash with all of the spending that we have with our wastewater plant now and paying Beacon, paying town of Fishkill. We pay town of Fishkill $200,000 to $300,000 a quarter to send sewer to Beacon that hopefully upgrades will be able to treat at our plant. So, which then in turn will allow the City of Beacon to use that capacity, for their own, so I think it's worked out well, and I think that our engineers have done a good job. So I don't think that we're going to see a big hit with our sewer increase or water increase. I think we'll long term will be a savings. So that's it, David. The only other thing that over in the Westonwood, Lawrence Avenue, we did have a water main that who knows who owns it. It went from Wood Street over to 4 houses, I think, Dave. 4 houses on Lawrence Avenue through the police station. A 2-inch copper line that did have a leak, or a couple leaks that we fixed over the last couple of weeks. So we did assist those people over there. Not sure who owns the water line, but at this point, it goes from our water main through our building, through our property to them. So we did fix it. So.
Hey, David, I've noticed over the last 2 years
And what
that we've been
guys
having about
for,
1 billion gallons of water per day delivered. Is there any anticipation in the near future for that to increase?
is it?
It could increase. East Fishkill is always looking to take more water. We have the contract with Beacon where they can up it another 300,000 gallons after the upgrades are done. And there's always the Route 9 corridor heading north up past Splashdown. If they want to run lines up there, we could always supply that with water as well. So there is potential for increased revenue outside of the village that would bring money to for the water department.
Okay,
Water service.
that's an anticipated increase, and I'm sure it's not figured into the water rates at this time, right?
That's correct.
So is there a possibility that the rates might be modified after this comes on board?
Well, no, not really, because the rates right now are going to be probably for the next couple of years. Even if East Fishkill might take more water in the next couple of years, but anything further on, just designed to get it further up Route 9 or wherever would probably take 5-6 years just to develop it and get it the infrastructure installed. So, by then we'll have a bunch of new problems, so to speak. So these costs right now are just to the proposed increases is just to basically cover our costs as we see them now.
Well, thank you, David.
Anybody else have anything for Dave? Okay.
Reach out anytime you want. Feel free.
Yep, absolutely. Dave is abundantly available for anybody that needs to, reach out or ask questions. So feel free. Vast knowledge and a vast experience, so you can answer a lot of the questions. Probably more than I can at this point in time. So I taught him well. Okay, so next thing is the, well, I'm gonna skip the treasurer and go to ambulance because that's quicker. Trudy, I just looked over next to you, looking for Trudy.
Trudy's not here.
Trudy's not
Sorry.
over here.
Yeah, we did have a couple of frequent flyers. Actually, a couple new ones. So, but yeah, Mobile Life had a busy month with the residences in December.
Okay. Where are you guys with the new contract? Any movement on that?
Not yet. I was going to ask Dan if he had a copy of Mobile Life's contract so I can compare, because I have the proposal from ambulance and what was it, Nick? M-Star?
M-Star, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I do
I
have
will,
the two
I will
proposals.
provide that and get that over to both of you.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Also, Mary, I did have a question. After the last in-person meeting we had, the fire chief and assistant chief asked to see this information also. I thought it was a little too early, but I would like to know or have you ponder how much input you want them to have on this new ambulance stuff.
You know, not to be, you know, throw it back to you, but I would throw it back to you. I would say what you feel comfortable with.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to make sure,
You and Nick are the board members.
okay,
You have control of what, you know, you do with all
okay,
professionals. So what you feel comfortable giving them is fine.
okay,
I would not say, personally, I would not say, give this or don't give this.
okay,
Again, I would say what you're comfortable with. And if, or you question what you can or what you can or what you're comfortable with and whatever, I would then reach out to Greg.
okay,
You know, as far as whether you have the, you know, opportunity to not give something, you know, because I don't, but I would give it, I would leave it up to you. I'm, you know, not trying to pass the buck, but
no, no, I understand, I didn't know if there was a precedent that we had set, so I didn't want to step on any toes, so,
I don't think we've had a precedent, so you can set it.
okay.
But any questions you have as far as the legality or that, I would go with Greg, reach out to.
Okay, will do, thank you.
Where are we with the bill? We ready to vote on Bill 20, the moratorium,
We already did.
Es must not abstain this, huh?
to pass the moratorium?
Yeah, 3-1.
All right, we did that.
Yep, we did
Okay.
that.
So I'm gonna circle back to the moratorium. We voted
Especially Jay.
to approve the moratorium. So I'm gonna set the moratorium committee, which are the people that I want to guide the moratorium or guide the process. So my initial chairman of the moratorium committee, and I say this initial because I'm gonna chairman, the initial chairman is then gonna coordinate and designate the rest of the committee. Committee can then designate their own chairman. So everybody understand that? So I'm gonna designate a chairman that's gonna go out and, you know, create the committee, whether the committee then chooses or if this person chooses to remain as chairman, will be up to the committee, because I don't want to be, you know, the influential party of the committee. Just want to have somebody that'll get the. So with that said, I'm going to ask Angelo to chair the committee in its inception. So, the committee then, in my mind, I want to have the committee be made up of, initially made up of the chairman of the planning board, which is Hans, chairman of the zoning board, which is Tom
Brooks.
Tom
Brooks.
And I think initially, Greg Supple. So that's the initial committee that I will appoint this evening with approval from the board. I will ask that committee then to come back within the next meeting or the meeting after, depending on how quickly they can do it. Oh, one other member, I'm sorry, I forgot. And my other member would be Dean, Dean Schofield. So the reason for Dean is Dean is on Dean is committee of where Dean you're in here someplace. Dean's planning liaison. Angelo is zoning liaison. Trudy, I left you up because you're doing the ambulance.
Yep.
And not that I'm trying to, I'm not trying to pick favorites here. You're doing the ambulance, and I want to continue on the ambulance. Dean's on that committee. I want Dean to do that. Angelo is on the committee along with me, but I don't want to do it. So, and Greg and Tom. I mean, Tom obviously has the background and knowledge going forward on that. So those are the people I want to appoint. We'll do a motion on that in a minute. I would ask that the committee come back to me and the board, but to us to appoint somebody from a business association, somebody that's involved with real estate. I don't know how or why or whatever you guys decide that can give you input on what real estate, not forecast, but what's out there with the real estate, and then somebody from the public. People out there, I would look for somebody, not so much in center village, but whoever it is, but somebody, I would say somebody that's not so much involved. That would be my suggestion. I address that person as you guys give it to us. So I think we need to have a diverse group of people to suggestions address our zoning changes and our review of our we did the comprehensive plan probably 20 years ago or so, 18, 20 years ago. I know it's been, I've been here for too long. I can't remember all of that. Did the plan. We had a lot of input. But things have changed.
Well, she wants that gym.
At the last meeting, I think.
That's 25.
What the Church of the Nazarene asked for was probably too much, but what they are allowed is probably too little. That needs to be addressed. The fact that we have plazas that are struggling to keep storefronts, we need to address that. We did a little bit with the self-storage, but how can we help the plazas maintain their viability with the diminishing storefront economy? I don't want to see everything turn into self-storage, but if we can cut their space into more self-storage and rent a retail, rent a smaller amount of retail space, that's good for everybody. The last thing we want is empty plazas. Moving forward from Jackson Street south, what we have, what our zoning calls for is storefronts with residents on top. Does that work? We can continue that, from Jackson Street east, but do we want to continue that Jackson Street west?
You have the realtors.
What do we want to do? I'm not making, I'm just things out that need to be discussed. Storefronts are gonna not be viable. And do we want to maintain status quo asking for storefronts? Or do we want to look at the future and look at what's coming and try to be ahead of the curve? So that's what I'm looking for.
Mr. Mayor, and Chair.
We have a lot of issues,
Interim.
but I think we have
Hello?
so very
Hello?
good opportunity to address them and be ahead of them and,
Hello?
develop our properties, that are viable. I think we need to step out of the past, the status quo, and look at what we need to
Mr. Mayor?
to keep things moving and keep things
Hello?
viable. I mean, whether we do this or not, we get our taxes, but eventually we'll stop getting our taxes. If we have abandoned buildings and with no storefronts and nobody there, restaurants that are closed down, we can't maintain. So we need to move forward. We need to look forward. We need to look outside the box and how we can continue to maintain our village. We have the restaurants, and Nick, God bless you. You're doing a good job, and we have a bunch of decent restaurants, but there's so many things that are pushing against that. We can't put all those eggs in that basket, all our eggs in that basket. So we got to continue to look to move the village forward. So I think that this rezoning or look at our zoning as an opportunity to look at what's out there, what do we need, how can we move forward, how can we keep the keep the tax income coming in. I mean, I hate to say it, it is what it is, but we live off the taxes. But we should be supporting those people that are paying our taxes. Help them maintain their viabilities. So again, I'm kind of rambling, but I'm just saying that with this pause, as we should call it. We need to look at how we're gonna move forward. Not how we're gonna stop somebody from, doing something, but how are we gonna help people from our businesses
Bruce, I will rip your head off.
to succeed.
Okay.
And that's our.
Angelo, go ahead.
Jim, I'm flattered and I thank you for appointing me interim chairman. Understand I used the word interim. I'd be glad to take it on as an interim basis to at least structure a committee, bring a committee together and leave it at that, because I think in the long run, the committee ought to choose a chairman that they want to go forward with. I respectfully decline to go any further with that because like maybe most of you in the room are not that worried about the future, but I don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months, and that's the extent of the moratorium. As a matter of fact, sometimes the future looks so unclear that I don't even buy green bananas. The point is that, yes, I agree with some of with most of the candidates who tried to be part of that committee. But I want to stress quite honestly that, well, tonight's a good example. We had a public hearing, and the nature of the public hearing is to get the opinions and concerns of the residents of the village. And I want to stress quite heavily that there should be a good representation of residents on that committee as well to go forward. So with that, I'll leave it that way and tell you that hopefully not by the next meeting, but the meeting after that, the committee should come back with a recommendation of candidates and to go forward from there and have that group, the committee, choose their chairman and move forward with it. I anticipate that during the period that the committee meets, that will have necessity. They have a necessity. The committee will have a necessity to seek the advice and counsel of perhaps the senior planner that we have working with the village at times on a periodic basis. So that's just the thoughts that I have from the top of my head, and I thank you again.
Well, yeah, thank you, Ange. And I do agree that I think that the committee, once completely formed, should choose their own leadership, which is, and I asked you to be the interim. I would, my hope would be that you lead it through the conclusion, but and that you and I will be long gone before this committee is completed its work, but I would defer to you to get the committee set up, reach out to, and I'm not limiting it to 1 or 2 or 3, whatever the committee I've appointed the committee. I think that committee can then decide how many people they want from the business, from the real estate people, or
General
from
public.
the local public. You can decide that, and I think I'm open to that, and I'm pretty sure the board is open to that. So again, my thought is that I want you to get the ball rolling, get the committee started, bring back names to us, as best you can. And again, I would love to see you continue as the committee chair, but I understand you and I are going to be done in June. Unless you decide to, as you're, being so young, you might want to stay on the board. I'm not running again. I will never, assume that you won't. I would hope you would still. But I do appreciate the fact that you and I, as things stand, are going to put this in motion and step back and let the chips fall as they may.
Thank you.
But I do want you to, get the ball rolling and get the people involved and guide it as long as you can. Because your guidance and your knowledge. So,
Thank you. We'll give it our best shot, Jim.
Give it his best shot. Said thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I know you'll give it your best shot. I have no doubt. Your best shot is better than most of our second or third shots. So,
Okay,
so I think I need a motion to appoint the people that I said.
Angelo Ferrera, Dean Schofield, Chairman of the Planning Board, Chairman of the Zoning Board, Tom Van Tyne, Greg Supple,
Did
and then a member of the
everybody
business.
Did everybody hear Dan? The motion?
For Angelo Ferrera, Chairman of the Planning Board, Chairman of the Zoning Board, Tom Van Tyne, Greg Supple, Dean Schofield, a member of the Business Association, a member with a real estate background, and a member from the general public.
At least one of those each.
Motion to approve.
There you go. Dan's already, take it right over. He's doing this whole thing like he used to in his old village. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
That was Dean.
Second,
That was Dean.
Any discussion? Trustee Schofield,
Aye.
Trustee Ferrera,
Aye.
Trustee Forlano,
Aye.
Trustee Neward.
aye.
Carried.
Angelo, he's just taking it right over. I don't even have to be here anymore. Dan's got it all under control. He's making motions, asking for motions. Where were you? I don't know, man. What else we have?
Treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report. See, we got that going.
Treasurer's report is through December, which is 7 months out of our budget year. I just want to make a note that in the next couple weeks, I'll be getting budget worksheets to the department heads to start working on the 2021, 2022 budget. I'll let you know where you are currently, what you have left, and discuss what your needs are for the upcoming budget year. So just be on the lookout the first week of February to have budget worksheets. I'll be getting them to you.
Thank you. Just quick on the budget stuff. Angelo, Dale was here today. He's going to use up some of your funding for the rest of this year. To grade the area behind the pavilion and the parking lot. The town did some good, some from somebody to bring bring in their dozer and work. Grade that off. That's going. Glenn.
Muted. Dan, you're muted.
Up some of this.
There we go.
Budget to seal and put down the sealer on the cracks and then seal the parking lot. So that's part of it, just so you know that they understand that there's an issue that they're going to deal with that. Extend the life of your park. And you'll have guys what else do we have, Dan, as far as things go?
Pretty much all we talked about.
Yeah.
Paul has some quotes, the 2 water lines.
Yeah, we're just for everybody's edification, up on Highview and what's the other? Osborne Hill, the 2 water lines up there. We're gonna do some directional boring. Had some issues with leaks up there, so we're gonna fix those. Avoid those by redoing that water line that's up of Osborne Hill, Highview, and Van Boris Drive. I think that's pretty much it on what we're doing as far as water and sewer and just public works. Anybody, Nick, you have anything else for us?
Nope, I'm good tonight. Thank you.
Dean?
All good.
Trudy?
Good, Mayor, thank you.
Who else is up there?
Hans.
Glenn, you have anything for us?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
No.
Hans, what else?
Good.
Nothing from a planning board. I was just wondering, I've been watching Nick all night. I'm surprised that he hasn't been run over by a truck there because.
Yeah, he's sitting in the middle of Main Street.
52.
It's nice to sit in the middle of Main Street with the Village Hall behind you and not get hit by a car. That's a good thing.
Thank you.
Oh, you're out there. I didn't see if you had anything.
No, I don't have anything else, Mayor. Thank you.
Tom, you have anything else for us?
I'm good, thank you.
Greg, do you have anything else for us?
Oh, I'm all set, Mayor.
Angela? Retired Angela?
Nope.
Nope. Let's see, Dave, do you have anything?
I'm fine.
Okay. We have Jessica on the phone. Is there anything from Jessica?
Move to adjourn?
Well, I don't know. Jessica didn't respond yet, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she didn't.
No, she's not unmuted, so
She's not unmuted. Who's the other one down there?
that's Angela. They're both
Oh,
Angela.
that's Angela. Okay, goes twice. Did I miss anybody?
Nope, you got everybody.
No, Jessica, you go one, twice. Okay, Trudy?
Move we adjourn?
Second.
Second.
Trustee Schofield,
Aye.
Trustee Ferrera,
Hi.
Trustee Forlano,
Bye.
and Trustee Newhard.
Aye.
7:43. Have a good night.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
Good night to all.
Good evening, good month.